And words have never seemed so inadequate to me until now. And I ask that, as I read, please remember Duane for who he was and what he meant to you. Please rely on your own memories. And if you've ever wondered what a true friend looks like, then please listen closely. Duane was a true friend to so many. True friends you can trust. You can trust them to stand with you no matter what you're going through. And Duane personally stood with me a few years ago through one of the toughest times in my life, up until now. And I always felt that if Duane was with me, nobody could touch me. I felt like he was my own personal bodyguard. And he told me so many times, I got your back, buddy. And when I had to make some tough decisions, sure enough, there he was standing with me every time, holding up my arms when I was weak and when I was scared. And true friends, they'll hug you and they'll not want to let you go. And Duane's hugs, they always hurt me. And they always guaranteed me that my feet would be leaving the ground. But I felt like I was really somebody when we did this. I really did. And true friends will say, if there's anything you ever need, call me. And when you do, they're there before you hang up the phone. Duane never said no, ever. If he did, it was to spend time with his family, his children, his parents. They were first, we know. He loved to help others, from babysitting to lying under a truck in the freezing cold so a friend could plow snow. The highlight of my journey with Duane was when I asked him to become a youth leader, to work by my side as I fulfill God's call in my own life. And so many times I wanted to just give up pastoring when times get tough. And it was at these times that Duane always amazed me with his words of wisdom and encouragement. And I would often wonder, where did that come from? Duane never doubted me, not once. And when I decided to take over the Trenton Youth Center, what began as support with Duane became his passion at the time. That big gruff guy with the broad shoulders, he soon became part of the foundation that we built on. And you know, I wondered how he would even fit in down there, how he would be received by a bunch of wild teenagers that didn't even know him. Because Duane scared me at times. He was never afraid to set me straight, or anybody else for that matter. And I did. I thought he might scare them all the way on us. I could not have been more wrong. Duane developed relationships with those teenagers that you simply have to see to believe. And a few years ago, Duane wanted a motorcycle. He had $500 measly in his pocket. And we went on a mission to find the best 500 motorcycle we could buy. And I remember the disappointment in his eyes after every bike we looked at that evening was junk. And I was thinking to myself, I would let him know this, every bike we look at for $500 is going to be junk. But not Duane. He was so sure we were coming home that night with a bike. So I said, check the GG one more time before we head back. And so we drove around Truro until we picked up somebody's wireless internet. And we checked the GG one more time. And sure enough, there it was, just posted, a 1982 CB750 Honda, $500. It was a long shot, so we raced against the darkness, we raced against the rain to get to Brule. And a long story short, Duane was now the proud new owner of that bike. And I do mean proud. And shortly after that, the engine went. And he was heartbroken. And he looked at me and he said, do you think we can fix it? And I said, sure. As a mechanic guy, I was supposed to be the one who believed we could fix it. And as we get into tearing it apart, I remember thinking, I've never seen so many parts on the floor in my life. What am I going to do? I remember thinking this bike will never run again. But once again, not Duane. He kept saying, we can do it, we can do it. And then he would laugh, like only he could. And I actually started believing him, right up until we finished, and we had a handful of parts left over. I didn't let him know, but I was sweating. There was a lot at stake here. Well, after many hours of me doing most of the work, because he was texting the whole time, I was getting into it. The bike fired up, and Duane went on to drive 10,000 kilometers that summer. This became his next passion. Duane was now officially a biker. He played the part well, didn't he? He lived it well. I was very fortunate to have spent 2 hours with Duane the night before he passed. All he talked about was getting to Truro and Saturday so he could be a part of the biker blessing. And then we talk about animal, whoever animal is. Some of you would know. When he got there, he would be a part of CMA praying for safety and blessing over the bikers, not the bikes, over them. And he would hand out little blessing stickers and salvation tracts. This next reflection is from one of Duane's closest friends, Melvin Frost, who so beautifully put into words what I struggled in my brokenness to write. Thank you, Melvin. These are his words. One thing I always loved about Duane is that he always seemed to have a smile on his face when others around him were worried or stressed. He always remained so laid back. He just enjoyed the moment and enjoyed his life. This made Duane a great person to be around. So I will miss his presence in my life. Duane's two favorite possessions were his motorcycle and his cell phone. Obviously, we're talking material possessions. He put a heck of a lot of miles on each one of them. One time when we drove our bikes around the Cabot Trail, Duane was out of cell phone coverage for a few hours. He didn't know what to do with himself. I can testify to that. I was there. I always wondered what cell phone withdrawal looked like. When we stopped for the night in a place with cell reception, he borrowed a second cell phone. And I have a picture of him sitting on the couch with a cell phone in each hand, texting simultaneously, with a relieved grin spread from ear to ear. Duane was always the most willing person I've ever met to lend a hand to his friends. When you needed help moving, piling wood, barbecuing hot dogs for your child's birthday, Duane would always be there for you. He would not just say he would be there, he would show up and help you as long as you needed him. Friends like that are few and far between. He was a great man to work with, walk with, and talk to. He always listened to what was going on in your life and gave you the encouragement to get through it. One thing I admired about Duane was how much he loved his family. I noticed that there was something special about the way he said Mom and the way he said Dad. I could always sense the fondness and warmth in his voice of that single syllable whenever he spoke of his mom and when he spoke of his dad. It was easy to perceive how much he loved them and how much they loved him. I never talked to Duane that he did not mention his daughters, Erica and Cynthia. They never left his thoughts for a minute. They were him as much as his own flesh, and he loved them with all that he was. I had admiration for Duane and that he was a true husband.